Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on March 5, 2022. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, Supreme Court reinstates death sentence for Boston Marathon bomber. The Independent, U.S. Supreme Court reinstates death sentence for Boston Marathon bomber. The Guardian, U.S. Supreme Court restores Boston Marathon bomber's death sentence. Reuters.com, High Court reimposes Boston Marathon bomber's death sentence. The Independent, Boston Marathon bombing, Supreme Court reinstates Tsarnaev's death sentence. The worst possible nightmare, voices from Ukrainian football as war rages. The Guardian, we have no illusions, we know Putin will try everything to bomb us into submission. The Guardian, David Lammy, Vladimir Putin's war is as significant as 9/11. The battle for our values must still be fought. Evening Standard, letters, Europe's democracies must see that they will be next if Ukraine falls to Russia's dictator. The Telegraph, opinion, letter from Ukraine, I'm not planning to leave. Lower than snakes *****, Lauren Boebert's antics catch up with her. The Independent, Joe Biden's solutions are only creating more problems in the U.S. The Telegraph, Joshua Davis, the kid who appeared at the State of the Union address, has been an advocate most of his life. The Washington Post, Boebert doubles down on Biden heckle, I would absolutely do it Argon. The Independent, Biden's State of the Union address, a perfect summation of his presidency. Zaporizhzhia, China, very concerned, after Russia seizes Ukrainian nuclear power plant. The Independent, UN. Political chief says attacks on nuclear power plants contrary to international law. Reuters.com, UK statement on Ukraine to the emergency meeting of the IAEA Board of Governors. Gov. UK, the man trying to avert nuclear meltdown in Ukraine. The Independent, China urges all sides to ensure safety of Ukraine nuclear facilities. Peshawar explosion, suicide bombing at Pakistan mosque kills dozens. The Independent, dozens of worshippers killed in Pakistan's suicide bomb attack. The Guardian, Pakistan, at least 56 killed in suicide attack at mosque in Peshawar. Sky News, suicide bomber murders dozens in Peshawar mosque attack. The Times, mosque bombed in northwest Pakistan, at least 30 killed. UK to speed up sanctions on Russian oligarchs by copying allies' decisions. The Guardian, Russian oligarchs using human rights laws to fight sanctions. The Telegraph, Boris Johnson U-turn to speed up sanctions on Russian elite. The Independent, cleaning London of dirty Russian money would be great, but won't topple Putin. The Guardian, we need an economic crime bill to ensure Russian oligarchs are not let off the hook. Ukrainian Navy scuttles flagship as Russia advances on Mykolaiv. The Independent, Ukraine scuttles its flagship frigate as Russians close in. Sky News team's harrowing account of the violent ambush in Ukraine this week. Sky News journalists evacuated after being shot at by Russian death squad. The Guardian, Sky News team ambushed by gunmen near Kyiv. The Times, terrifying footage shows British journalist in Ukraine shot and wounded in Russian ambush near Kyiv. Manchester Evening News, Sky News journalist shot and wounded in ambush near Ukrainian capital. Ukraine invasion, student claims he was beaten and racially abused as he fled towards Polish border. California jogger Sherry Papini staged own violent kidnapping, FBI says. The Guardian, Sherry Papini arrested for faking infamous 2016 kidnapping. The Independent, years ago, she told police she had been abducted, beaten and branded. Now she's charged with making it all up. CNN, California family, appalled by arrest in faked abduction. We at Stop the War condemn the invasion of Ukraine, and warmongers on all sides. The Guardian, thousands to join weekend of protests in London over Russian war in Ukraine. The Times, all wars horrify us, but it seems not equally so. The Guardian, pacifists are being elbowed out of British politics just when we need them most. Embraced or pushed back, on the Polish border, sadly, not all refugees are welcome. The Guardian, Nottinghamshire business pledges £50,000 to help Ukrainian refugees fleeing disaster. Nottinghamshire Live, Lynn firm pledges £50,000 to help Ukrainian refugees. Lin News, Lincolnshire company to find jobs and homes for up to 100 Ukrainian refugees. UK universities brace for impact of sanctions against Russia. Agribusiness giants tried to thwart EU deforestation plan after COP26 pledge. Ukraine invasion, Russian-backed submissions disqualified from this year's Emmy Awards. Sky News, Ukraine war, now Russia is banned from the 2022 Emmy Awards. Daily Mail, all Emmy submissions funded by Russian government to be disqualified for 2022. The Independent, the Emmys react to Russian invasion of Ukraine telling move amid 2022 entries. Geo News, National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences has disqualified any 2022 entries funded by the Russian government. Italian police seize yacht owned by Russia's richest man. The Guardian, Russia sanctions, super yacht of sanctioned Russian billionaire detained by Italy. Bloomberg, Russian oligarch yacht seizures, what has been confiscated and what might be next. The Independent, Igor Sechin, the epitome of power in Putin's Russia. The Guardian, France and Germany detain Russian oligarch superyachts. Ukraine invasion, 3 Russian commanders killed so far, and Kyiv convoy stuck in enormously large traffic jam, Western officials say. Sky News, 3 Russian commanders killed as Ukraine invasion force attempts to step up momentum. The Independent, Ukraine war, Russian commanders killed as Putin's invasion plan marred by blunders, says official. Evening Standard, Russian commanders die as army falters, news. The Times, Russian commanders killed after taking risks amid frustration at stalled advance. Oil and gas lobbyists are using Ukraine to push for a drilling free for all in the US. The Guardian, West must target Putin's oil, gas income, Naftogaz CEO says. Bloomberg, Ukraine urges energy and financial markets to ban Russia-linked traders. Politico Europe, Cliff Taylor, boycotting Russian gas may be necessary in the economic war. The Irish Times, Ukraine war prompts European reappraisal of its energy supplies. Ukraine invasion, Zelensky warns weak, NATO will be partly responsible for fatalities as it fails to impose no-fly zone. Sky News, Zelensky criticizes NATO in emotional nighttime address. The Independent, Zelensky lashes out at NATO over no-fly zone as Russian attacks intensify. The Guardian, NATO won't establish no-fly zone over Ukraine, Stoltenberg says. Politico Europe, explainer, why a no-fly zone is unlikely in Ukraine. Beyond the fog of war, books to help us understand the invasion of Ukraine. The Guardian, Ukraine is being wiped out with a history of lies. The Times, a question from Lviv to the world. Are you going to leave us to face the Kremlin's madmen alone? Ukraine invasion, U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham calls on Russians to assassinate Vladimir Putin. Sky News, Russians should not assassinate Vladimir Putin, says Boris Johnson. The Telegraph, outcry after U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham suggests Putin's assassination. The Guardian, Putin should be tried in court not assassinated, says Boris Johnson. The Independent, Boris Johnson does not support calls to assassinate Vladimir Putin but wants him tried for crimes against humour. In a twist, Fortress, Hungary opens doors to refugees from Ukraine after years of keeping migrants out. The Independent, Ukrainian refugees arriving in Hungary say they are relieved and excited. International students trapped in Ukraine appeal for urgent evacuation. The Guardian, help us, we re-stranded. International students say they re-trapped in northeast Ukraine. CNN, students stranded in Ukraine. The fear is, how long will we be like this? Guardian News, students stranded in Ukraine. The fear is, how long will we be like this? Video. The Guardian, Sumy, more than 500 international students trapped in Ukrainian town battered by shelling. Anti-war Russian FSB agents have helped thwart 3 assassination attempts against Zelensky, Ukraine claims. The Independent, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky survives 3 assassination attempts in matter of days. Daily Record, Russia now considering covert tactics in Ukraine war, former CIA director says. ITV News, guns for hire, how shadowy Wagner Group mercenaries support Russian soldiers in Ukraine conflict. The Independent, President Zelensky survives 3 assassination plots after tip-offs from anti-war Russian spies. cutting back on final drink of day could improve brain health. The Guardian, 1 glass of wine a day shrinks brain and 2 ages it by 2 years. Cambridgeshire Live, just 1 drink per day can shrink your brain, study says. UK not prepared for climate impacts, warns IPCC expert. The Guardian, global heating, the terrifying fate of the planet and everyone who lives on it that is now irreversible. Wales Online, climate responses that backfire are a growing problem, IPCC says. Bloomberg, to prevent climate catastrophe, abandon the idea we can limit overheating to 1.5 C. Ukraine invasion, Met Police appeals to war crimes victims in UK to contact them as part of International Criminal Court investigation. Sky News, evidence of alleged Russian war crimes is being collected, Ukrainian MP says. The Independent, ICC faces myriad challenges to prosecute war crimes in Ukraine. Reuters.com, International Criminal Court team head to Ukraine for war crimes investigation. Sky News, ICC sidestepping red tape to pursue war crime conviction of Putin. Amtrak engineer cleared of all charges over fatal 2015 Philadelphia derailment. Space News, Live, out-of-control rocket to crash into far side of the moon today. The Independent, UK-backed OneWeb suspends Russian satellite launches. Financial Times, satellite firm OneWeb suspends missions using Russian rockets. Politico Europe, Space News, Live, out-of-control rocket to crash into far side of the moon today. Russia-Ukraine war, what we know on day 10 of the Russian invasion. The Guardian, Ukraine-Russia lunchtime briefing, 5 developments as Putin issues chilling warning to Ukraine's neighbors. The Telegraph, Ukraine war latest, Russia likely to advance towards Odessa, UK warns. Financial Times, Russia-Ukraine war latest news, Russia to allow humanitarian corridors in Mariupol and Volnovka, live. The Guardian, latest Russia-Ukraine war news, Russian forces advance in south, target Mykolaiv, US officials say. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.